Hello everybody, welcome back. Long time no see, or maybe today's the old restart, the old get back in the chain. Today I'm chilling. I will not be getting mobile. I will be taking some time to sit down and really relax this one. Honestly, it's just because I'm not wearing a shirt with a shirt pocket. Otherwise I would totally be out zooming. But today I'm in a courtyard. This is one of the nicer, this is a beautiful area of campus. Most of my college campus is quite beautiful, but this is one of the areas that I really do value a lot. It's a nice it's quieter, it blocks a lot of the outside noise, and it's great. So, today I've got a beautiful lineup here of stuff I'll be running through in the next couple of videos. And I'm just gonna line them up and knock them down. Quite frankly, I got about 45 minutes till I'm out of here, so I'll be running through it all and converging to something. So, this first one, how do your chosen behaviors affect your emotions? I'll be saving that one for later. That's probably gonna tie more toward the bottom, and that's gonna be the final stage. I'm gonna start up here and work my way down, because these have been topics I've pushed off for maybe a few days, weeks, whatever. So, this is exactly what I wrote down in my capture system, which is like a to-do list that I have. So, the first point is, why can't I feel pain of the past anymore? Also, who do I want to feel the pain, why do I want to feel the pain from the past? Do I associate being in pain with my self-identity? Is not having pain going to induce fear onto me that although I am ambitious, I will not have the drive because I no longer have something to run away from? Are there secret underlying things? What's really going on here, and what's turning those gears? So, I think a lot of people don't really understand, the two main motivators behind human psychology. That being, you're either afraid of something, meaning you're going to be repelled, or you are going to be in desire of something and you're going to be seeking something actively. Either way, those two will determine your actions quite effectively. There are obviously, inverse variations. There's a bajillion ways you could spin that, but the main idea is that you will be, kind of like the product of your own environment. You'll be doing your own thing. At the end of the day, you will be able to assign, happiness or sadness based on what you end up receiving. But for the longest period of time, until unironically maybe like a week or two ago, it was really, really weird. One day I just woke up and I felt at peace with myself. It was a kind of peace that I'd never really felt any time in my life before. It was really weird. It was just like a switch was flipped in the back of my head, or it's somewhere within my system. And then, from that day forward, it was just, I had this chill and this zen that was kind of, I wouldn't say nuking my productivity, but definitely not contributing positively. I could tell that I was slacking, but it felt okay, and that was uncomfortable for me, because I'm used to being someone who's uncomfortable when I'm not giving my all, or I'm not producing a lot of output for my, input of resources, input of support from, I guess, like nutrition and my own efforts going back in. I'm used to getting high leverage ratios of output for my inputs in my life because of my work ethic and effort. Whatever you want to call that. Whatever you want to spin that as. Point being, as a few weeks ago, that internal spark, that little pizzazz, that little fire, just kind of boop, stopped. It was really weird. It was just like, again, woke up one day and then gone, nothing. It was just gone. And it wasn't to the point of debilitation. I still had primary motivation. I would just say that it was a noticeable decrease in my drive and desire for some reason that I just don't understand, or at the very least didn't understand until recently. So, the question then became for me, if I can't feel the pain of the past anymore, and the only thing that was driving me in the past was this discomfort because of certain events that may have been outside of my control but were still my problem, then what will drive me going forward? What will be that extra little nitrous oxide in the system? What will be that additional boost that keeps me at this high level performance without losing, the reason that I came here? And, I had to think about this long and hard, because really, when I reflected on why the pain had gone away, it was truly because I had come to acceptance and I'd come to a sense of peace with the past that I honestly had never thought would be possible. And it was a beautiful moment for me. It was a moment of self-realization and integral calm that I had never felt prior. There's a movie that I watch sometimes, or a series of movies that I watch with my roommate, the Jason Bourne movies. They're fantastic films. I'm a big fan. And the big thing that's talked about in those movies are the headaches that all of the secret agents in the Treadstone program, whatever, movie science was going on. They talk about these quote unquote headaches that would just occur to them. This would kind of be like a feeling. It was described in the movie as a sort of, mental pain associated with negative memories or past missions that would simply, according to the movie lore or the movie decryption, they would occur because of the amount of trauma and the amount of, repressed emotional feelings that were both experienced and persevered by all of the people inside the agent program. And, I'm not Jason Bourne, but I can kind of see, or at least at the very least, I can tell that I was experiencing something that I would describe as similar to that. It would be, it felt like a tinge in the back of my life, but it felt like a constant that would never go away. So I just came to accept it after a certain period of time. And this probably, this tinge in the back of my life probably was running for maybe close to 4 years. Maybe 4 to 5, years of just tinging, wake up, always have this painful memory of my head, boom, it's there. But I suppose, as a mentor of mine from my high school days told me, time heals all. So plain and simple, the time to be healed simply just came. And I suppose that there's no reason to beat my chest and take pride in the pain of the past when it's simply just the time to move forward and make the most of what I've got. So I guess that covers the first one mostly in depth. The main idea just being like, I felt a lot of this discomfort based on some things that have occurred. And I guess the question then became, do I still want this pain because it feels like a drive? Or is it because it feels like it's a part of me after experiencing it for 5 years straight? And I would conclude it to be that it was simply just, the desire to have this pain in my life, or this desire to have something that would poke me in my life, like this sort of headache description, would simply just be because of a desire to maintain a sustained habit. It's kind of like if I woke up every day and I always ate cereal for 10 years, and then one day cereal stopped existing, I would be a little upset and I'd want some cereal. So maybe I just need to take some time and train myself to get used to not having that